Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. We have with us the Director General from Brussels, and of course his delegation together with the European Union Ambassador based here in Suva. We've had some very fruitful and useful discussions in respect of the bilateral partnership between Fiji and the European Union. We've talked about a range of issues, including the sugar sector, and various other areas of cooperation and the direct budget support that the EU has provided to us in this financial year. More importantly also, we have had discussions in respect to the European Union support for the climate change effort, or the fight against climate change, I should say, and in respect to Fiji's presidency of COP23. So with those introductory remarks, I'd like to hand over to the Director General to maybe make a few comments and some announcements. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. I confirm that we had a very fruitful discussion about our bilateral cooperation. We insisted in particular in preparing what we call the budget support in order to allow a smooth transition, in particular in the sugar sector, to help the economy to prepare to the post-quarter, I mean the end of the regime which is in place. Important to have that through a structured sectorial policy, also embedded into a robust dialogue with all civil society. I think all what the Minister is doing is preparing bills for that, and therefore to confirm the 20 millions that we are putting into this operation in order to support this transformation. Second point, we discussed about climate change, about the effort that the country is doing, and commending the effort that Fiji has done, not only to promote the agreement in Paris, but also to be the first country having ratified the convention agreed in Paris. Therefore, for that, very pleased to see that this leadership now is going on in chairing COP23, and very pleased, therefore, to have to be in a position to help Fiji with 3 million euros, which in dollars is close to $4 million, in order to support this important role that the country will play. Important because it is from a region which is particularly vulnerable, and particularly the best evidence, let's say, of the effect of climate change on our lives. Therefore, on this also an important support from the European Union. We spoke also about the other projects and programs that we are ongoing, support to justice, for example, support to creation of business, and all what is part of our structure. Support and dialogue with Fiji. We also briefly spoke about the post-Cotonou. I shared with the Minister the work which is ongoing in order to prepare what next, and you know that our position is to have a new agreement, and to have this agreement also reinforcing the regional pillar. One pillar is the Pacific, in order to have our cooperation with the Pacific region even stronger. I mean, personally, I'm here in tour in the region in order precisely to underline that the European Union is and will remain in the Pacific and will support the effort of our partners. Last point, we also discussed about the preparation of the next elections, and we are responding to a request of support that the government or the bodies like the Electoral Commission or the supervisor are presenting in order to prepare even better the next election in 2018, which are another, let's say, important piece in the improving the governance and the democratic part of this country. So we had a whole range of discussion, and all this supported by an excellent dialogue that we have.
Thank you very much. I would like to, before we open the floor for any questions, I'd like to once again thank the European Union. The Director General is present, of course, here in Fiji, with his delegation, and of course the European Union Ambassador. We find the European Union a very genuine, very committed partner with Fiji in respect of resolving or addressing many of our development issues, and also working together with them for the future. So thank you once again, Director General, for your presence and your team, and the EU Ambassador. I'd like to now open up the floor for any questions you may have.
Regarding the 20 million assistance, would you just elaborate a bit more on the assistance?
Yes, in the framework of we have a bilateral envelope which is of 48 million, composed by different sections, including the last support that we are giving in order to cope with the Western disaster. But the 20 millions are there through a budget support, meaning direct transfer into the budget of the state in order to put in place a policy of restructuring the sugarcane sector, basically. Because, as you know, in October, the quota system will expire, and therefore the country and the producer of sugar and sugarcane in the country will pass from a system which is largely protected to a system which is more relying on the free market. And therefore this requires, as the government is doing, by the way, a reform of this and to create opportunity for farmers and for all the agricultural sector. Therefore, 20 million have been earmarked for that, and therefore we are working together in order to set in place the conditions to allow this disbursement as quickly as possible.
In terms of the assistance for the 3 million for COP23, could you elaborate just the amount of assistance that Fiji has received so far from countries in terms of COP23?
Well, we have reached out to a number of countries. We have written various letters. The Honourable Prime Minister, as you know, is currently in the USA meeting various partners, various climate leaders. So we hope to obviously get a lot more interest shown in that in terms of assistance. The European Union, of course, has made a commitment. They are allocating 1 million euros directly to UNFCCC, and they've committed 2 million euros to our budget, which of course we will be using specifically for the COP23 presidency. We have, as you also know, that we've set up a trust fund, and we expect people who will be making direct contributions to those trust funds too. We also have an opportunity where allocations are made directly to our budget support. We can put that money into the trust fund too. So at the moment we're having quite a lot of interest, and we'll be able to furnish you with much further details in respect of how much money has been actually put into the trust fund.
I think that we have been among the first in responding.
Yes. Yes.
That's another evidence of our partnership. No, and commending really what Fiji has done so far, because really showing leadership in bringing forward this important achievement at the international level.
Thank you.
So you mentioned you also be assisting Fiji regarding preparation for elections next year. Would you elaborate on the type of assistance that you will be providing in terms of,
We were discussing precisely which kind of assistance would be requested, in the sense that there is already a request from the supervisor of elections in order to train polling station people, and other can come from the electoral commission to train, for example, the member. So there is a wide range of activities, like last time, can be taken up by the European Union with dialogue, sharing experiences, for example, and also with financial means. This is precisely something we discussed, in order also to have, as much as possible, a sort of coherent request in order to be able to respond in the most fast and efficient way.
Normally the request for technical assistance and various other assistance comes from the Supervisor of Elections Office, the Fijian Elections Office, and also the Electoral Commission.
We can also shake hands.
You're shaking, yeah, I was going to say that. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll go through.